One of the most subtle failures in multinational auditing happens when everyone uses the same words, but everyone means something different. Across global teams, key terms drift. Completed, checked, appropriate, qualified, trained, validated, reviewed, monitored, they sound standardized, but they are often interpreted through local habits, cultural norms, and translation shortcuts. This is lost definition, and it quietly erodes audit reliability in multilingual environments. Why definitions drift across languages? Uniform terminology doesn't automatically produce uniform understanding. In fact, the more languages involved, the more variation creeps in. 1. Operational terms evolve locally. Each site gradually develops its own meaning for routine words. One plant's check might mean visual confirmation, another's might mean full measurement plus recording. 2. ISO language is translated, not harmonized. Core audit and quality terms often lose nuance when converted into another language. The closest word is chosen, not necessarily the correct one. 3. People default to the most familiar interpretation. Even if corporate procedures define a term clearly, staff typically rely on the meaning they already use daily. Over time, these variations transform a shared vocabulary into a patchwork of site-specific interpretations. Why this is a serious audit issue? When definitions are inconsistent. Evidence seems aligned when it isn't. Auditors compare sites unfairly. Deviations remain hidden. CARs are issued inconsistently. Documentation looks correct but reflects different realities. Risk assessments become unreliable. Teams can use the same terms yet execute processes in fundamentally different ways. This leads to misleading cross-site audits, conflicting NCRs, and incorrect assumptions about compliance maturity. Real-world examples auditors see all the time. You've likely encountered version drift in phrases like, "Training is completed," meaning ranges from signed attendance sheet to tested competence. Checked could be looked at, verified, inspected, or measured with evidence. Reviewed might mean glanced at, signed, or analyzed with corrective actions. Updated could be date changed or full revision performed with validation. Same word. Different execution. Different risk level. Why standard audit techniques don't catch this? Auditors often assume that shared terminology equals shared meaning. But in multilingual contexts, it doesn't. Even well-written procedures hide definition gaps. The English version may be clear, while translated versions subtly alter meaning, or vice versa. Unless auditors test definitions deliberately, lost meaning goes unnoticed. What auditors should do immediately. To stabilize evidence across languages. 1. Define key terms in writing, globally, not locally. Critical words like check, verify, review, validate, and train must have a single, documented meaning across all sites. 2. Ask staff to explain terms in their own words. You quickly discover whether their understanding matches the documented definition. 3. Examine how translated versions differ. Often, the deviation isn't in the process, it's in the language. This approach exposes mismatches that normal interviews miss. The insight. Shared vocabulary is not proof of shared understanding. Hidden risk number 6 highlights how multilingual teams can appear aligned linguistically while operating with entirely different interpretations behind the scenes. Precision starts with definitions, and definitions must be evidence-based, not assumed.